Alright, so here we are. I've just finished cutting out a section of the boot floor here. As you can see, here's the piece I cut out, and you can see the pinholes. So I'm going to reconstruct. I'm going to get some metal. I'm going to reconstruct this and then reinstall it here. In the meantime, though, I have to do some dismantling in this section right here, because there's rust in between the layers of steel. There's a subframe in here, and that subframe got water penetration, and there's some issues there with respect to water rust forming inside here. And the rust is expanding, is starting to wedge its way into the structure. So I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to fabricate this piece here and fit it. I may have to reconstruct this lip here. Most likely I will. What I'll do is I'll make a cut along here and here, stopping here, and then what I'll do is I'll put a band of steel here, well, probably a 1/4 of an inch wide or so, if I have to, and then tack that on, form it to make a new lip, and then go ahead and reinstall my new piece, and then tack weld that new lip to this new section here. And that. While I was cleaning out the inside of the tub, you can't see them right now, but there's some pinholes through here, and that I'm going to touch those up with the welder, and then I'm going to fiberglass over that with some long strand Bondo, a thin little touch here and there, and then seal it, and then after that I will deal with undercoating underneath. First things first, though, I need to, before I undercoat anything, I need to get underneath the car here, and, excuse me, I need to finish cleaning up inside here, getting this mud and other garbage out of there, try and attack this rust here. I'll do the best I can to try and I'll do the best I can to try to get as much of that rust off as possible. Then I'll spray rust reformer in there, and I want to get as much of this old undercoating off as possible. Then she's going to get a rust coat paint job underneath, and then undercoating to supplement that. So I've got a lot of cleanup to do here. Underneath here, though, I have actually to deal with this situation here. I have a panel, a brand new panel from Martin Roby's here to replace this, and I want that. I'm not sure how I'm going to proceed. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up first and look at what I have to do to reform and rebuild this corroded, rusted out section here. You can see how things have gotten a little bit out of hand in here, and it's going to be I don't know how to describe it, but I'm going to have to feel my way along. I have to remove things and see how far the damage goes, and then try to save as much of the original metal as possible, and then go ahead and fashion patch panels or anything I need to, and reinstall everything, rebuild it. I'll be grinding off removing the paint and so on as best I can from the outer structure here, to see what it looks like, what the underlying metal looks like, and how far it's been penetrated with rust. This is a mount for the rear bumper, here and here. So I want to maintain that. The other thing is, I was just describing earlier, and I have to deal with this corrosion and so on and so forth in here. And that actually, from this angle, it doesn't look so bad. But nonetheless, over here you can see I've got an issue starting there. So that section, I'm going to have to deal with that And then I want to even all these lips out, these rolled edges here, and make it look presentable again. All along the way I'll be dealing with corrosion and rust control and so on and so forth. But the fuel tank fits in this gap here, in this free space here. And so here's one of the mounting studs, another one, and then over here is the third one. And the filler spout will go up through there. The fuel pump wiring is here, and the fuel pump inlet is through this hole here in the floor. But so anyway, one thing at a time. So I'm going to take the upper layer of this frame section here, separate it, get into this cavity here, and deal with any corrosion that started in there. And then I'll probably start to reconstruct the top of this section here, take the rusty pieces out that have started to wedge their way apart. The rust gets in, it expands, and it starts moving metal away from itself. And that's where we end up with issues there that make it rather awkward sometimes. Okay, well that's all for now. We'll continue. I'm going to try and get this video out soon here, maybe today. We'll see how things go. Well, good morning. This is Grandpa Gary back on the Jag project here, the Mark II. Just showing you a little bit of progress made. This is obviously the boot of the Mark II. Previously, I had in another video, I had explained what was going to happen here. This area was pinholed and pretty much rusted out, as was the bottom of the tub here for the spare tire. So what I ended up doing was I cut this metal out. You can see the rough shape, I hope. I took some 18 gauge metal that I had and cut out the shape, and I stitch welded around this this shape here and here. I didn't this indentation actually extended into here, but I decided that I would just not bother trying to form that. So there was a slot cut here, and I folded the metal down until it touched the bottom tin, and then I stitch welded all that in, which was as usual a bit of a hassle. It was a challenge because of the metal being so thin, and dealing with existing rust and so on. But I cut most of the rust out, welded that in, and then I took this oil filter wrench here, and I fashioned a new piece right here. What I ended up doing was cutting the spigot out of the old piece, the original piece. I cut this out, cut these spot welds out here, and then what I did is I cleaned up all the metal and I welded the spigot to this new attach point here to hold the spare tire down. So that was fashioned. I also got some 5-inch exhaust pipe from a truck shop, and I made a new cup and welded this down to the new cup, fitted it on. I had to take some measurements to make sure that this piece fit down far enough, and it did with the measurements in that. Then what I did here, all this metal from the tub was rusted away, so I got underneath with a zip cutter disc, and I evened out, cut out the rust, and evened out the metal, so that once I stitch welded the 5-inch extension, the cup from below, I peened this metal all over and then popped a few stitch welds in here, and then I seam sealed it. You can see it looks kind of rough in there, but it's all seam sealed now, and it's pretty solid. This center bolt fits in like so, and everything looks like it's going to work out pretty good. So that's a little hint for those that are dealing with the same issue. Water collects in here, and if it's not attended to, you know, everything rusts. So what you can do is you cut these spot welds out, drill them out, remove the center section, and then you can weld the spigot from the old base there, stitch weld it on. And you might have to do some grinding in that to make things work, to make the hole big enough in that and to even it out. But once you get that done, then you can go ahead. This filter wrench cost us $9 Canadian plus tax, of course, in that. And before I welded this piece into here, into the cup that I had made from the 5-inch exhaust section. I did that on the bench, and once this was all welded and everything, that's when I installed this from below. So it's not exactly stock looking, but it's going to work out just fine. Let's just get underneath here so you can see what I ended up with. I put a dimple in the bottom there, just like the original is sort of formed that way, and this is all welded and seam sealed in there, and that's not going anywhere. So that part's done. Then what I ended up doing is I ground out as much surface rust and so on and corrosion from the boot. It wasn't actually bad, mostly surface rust that easily was sanded away. There is some underneath here which is dealt with. 2 coats of red oxide primer, which I thinned 4 to 1, 4 parts red oxide primer to 1 part acetone. Sprayed that in with my HVLP gun. I let it dry for 2 days, and then before I painted the gray, I decided I would go with this gloss gray in here. It's a neutral color, and normally I would paint that the same color as the body color, but I've decided I'm not going to go down that road. So I let the seam seal sit for 2 days. Seam sealed along here and here, and of course all the way along here. I didn't bother finishing this off too carefully. I mean, everything in here is well sealed. Oh, by the way, before I put the red oxide down here on my patch panel, I fiberglassed, not fiberglassed, I bondoed with short strand fiberglass bondo all the seams here and here. Also, I bondoed from below. There was some pinholing in the welding, and I kind of had to bite the bullet on that a bit. I did the best I could and ground the welds down, but I couldn't keep welding. I was going to get myself into a situation where I was just blowing holes through more and more metal. So I accepted that, and this is all bondoed from above and below to seal it. And then that's when I painted over the bondo with the red oxide primer. Like I said, 2 coats of thinned red oxide primer applied with the HVLP, and I let that sit for a couple days. And then what you see here is dark gray Rust-Oleum thinned out with high gloss Rust-Oleum thinned out with acetone. And so 3 parts paint, 1 part acetone, and a fraction of a part of hardener, enamel hardener, and 2 coats. I ran into problems. I ran into air pressure issues with my compressor, so this didn't turn out to be exactly the way I wanted it to be, but it came out okay. It's acceptable. and everything is sealed up now, and the rust is taken care of. So that's done. What I'm going to do is continue on now. I've got this done. I'm going to seal this off. This whole area is going to be sealed off with plastic. I've got some work to do on the installation of the right hand, the passenger side sill. And I don't want any dust to collect in here. There's dust all over everything because the shop is so small and I've been grinding in that. So I'm going to deal with that by sealing this off. I'm going to put plastic here as well. Here is the spare tire cover. You'll see in 1 second here. It's painted as well on the top. And I am going to be painting the underneath set part here. This is the red oxide, obviously the red oxide primer. So I'll get around to doing that, but I'm not too concerned with that at this point. I want to get the sill repair going. So that's going to be extensive. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put this down and put this cover back on, and then show you what else I've done. So I'll just set this aside for one moment here. There we go. I will say one thing though, this thinned out trim clad, high gloss trim clad is actually it did come out pretty hard. I'm pretty impressed with it. There's some rubbing happening here, and so some of the paint came off, but I'm not too worried about that. This whole area is now protected in that. And in getting ready for finishing up the back end before Christmas, I took the fuel tank, the brand new fuel tank that I bought from S&G Barrett, and I prepped that, and I painted it. So I'm going to show you that right now. So this is the new fuel tank. Obviously, I've took the time to scuff the paint that was on it, the black paint that it comes in. Scuffed that, cleaned it. Brand new fuel tank, and I'm very happy with it. Although I have to admit, it cost an arm and a leg, but it came out really well. What I'm going to do is before this is installed, I'm going to put seam sealer on here on all of the welded seams, and I'm going to install the new bushings. I bought a kit, an installation kit, so I end up with it's not bushings, the grommets that fit here, and all the other fittings that I need in that. But I'm going to leave this in the boot for now, and like I said, this is going to be sealed off, and I'm going to hopefully keep as much dust out of here as possible. I also, by the way, I cleaned out the gutters with a wire brush, a rotary wire brush on my drill, and I also used some silicone seal remover to loosen the glue and everything, and that was in here. I want this weather stripping. Oh, I can see I need to paint here some more. The weather stripping, I want that to have a good clean solid surface to seal against when I put the new weather stripping back in, and that. But anyway, that's it for now for the boot. Now moving forward, I'm going to be as I already showed in a previous video, which I'm not sure I published. There's been some problems here. I had a software issue with my publishing editing software, and I lost some footage, and it's the usual story. I decided that I would maybe kind of review again what I'm going to be doing. But this area here, as I said in this video, I just mentioned, I have to disassemble some of the structure here so that I can access the welds for the panhard rod mount. And I'm going to I'm going to draw a line here. I'm going to cut out some of this rotted, rusted, corroded, crappy looking metal here, and I have to clean that all up as best I can. But I think what I'll do is I'll make a cut here. I'm going to draw a line here. I'm going to make a cut, and then this section of the metal I'm going to peel away just like peeling an onion, and then work my way around. There's welds. The panhard mount has been welded to the frame structure up here, so I'm going to cut these welds as best I can and then work my way around so that I can drop this new replacement panhard, or excuse me, the old existing panhard rod, drop it out, hopefully release it from the frame structure here. And then what I have to do when I get that done, I have to be able to I don't know, I guess you could say reconstruct some of the frame channel here and make sure that that's secure and strong. And then the new panhard mount will fit in from below, and I'll spot weld that in, and or plug weld it, I guess be the better way to say that. And then once that's done, then I can go ahead and continue the repairs for the back tonneau cover panel. I'll show you that. So at the back here, behind here, this structure that you see where my hand is, sorry about the shaking, and I hope I'm trying to speak fairly loud so the sound is better than it's been recently. This whole area here from the inside is badly corroded. So what I have to do is I have to remove this. I have to remove the paint first, get rid of that, see what I'm up against. And this replacement panel, I have that, gain access so that I can be able to install this, the new piece in here, to reconstruct the structure here, because it's from underneath it's just terrible shape, so it's not very strong, and I'm going to run into issues with the rear bumper and that if I don't do something to repair that. It's going to fall away. The area is very rusty in that. So once I do that, once I do this repair here, then I can install the fuel tank, and so the fuel tank will be installed back in here. But if I install the fuel tank prematurely, then I lose access to what's behind here. So that has to be done. I'm going to try and get that done before too long here, but it's going to be a struggle. You can see where the tonneau panel ends here, and it's spot welded into this structure here. It's I think I've said this in the past, it's just like peeling an onion or like an origami project. Everything's folded and spot welded and plug welded and leaded and go on and on. So yeah, that's going to happen. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some measurements from the new panhard rod to some landmarks, so that I can, when the time comes and I install the new piece, the new panhard rod mount, I can position it where this one was positioned. So I'm going to use this bolt that you see over here. That's pretty solid. I'm going to take a measurement from there to the middle of the mount ring here, and then from here over to this point here, I'll just get the light there. Yeah, there's a pretty solid point right here. I'm going to take a measurement from here to here, from here to the bolt, and make a triangle there. And using those measurements, I should be able to hopefully reposition the new piece in the proper location and locate it correctly, so I don't run into any geometry issues with the rear suspension, the rear axle. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to cut this short, and we're going to begin this removal here. And I might put this up on the tripod so you can watch, although that kind of stuff can be kind of boring, but we'll see what happens. So I'm signing off for now.